So, what is your perfect dinner pour proof? I ask that because I've been noticing, been going to a few bring your owns recently, and without thinking, I have a bunch of selection of different, bourbons and whiskeys. But each time I tend to go for a pour that I put in a flask that I'm going to bring to the restaurant under 100 proof, and specifically probably under 90 and 94 proof or under. As an example, the last few times, I went for Russell's Reserve 1090 proof, and then the time before that, I went for Maker's 4694 proof. And I know other times it's generally been, I'd say proofs mostly around 90 proof, even though I do tend to gravitate to higher proof pours. Not to say I haven't done that, but I found for the most part, I generally go for easier sippers with dinner. And I kind of thought about it, and I think I really didn't even do it consciously, but it does make sense, at least to me, because even while I like high proof pours or certainly have gravitated to higher proof pours, I think when you're having dinner, you want something that's going to complement the meal, not overpower it. And I think you can have some of these, really hot, 120, 130 proof pours, which would be great as a neat sipper, but they could totally overpower what you're eating. And I think the meal and the bourbon and whiskey need to kind of pair together, complement each other. So I think in general, I mean, you could have a really hot, spicy meal. Maybe a high proofer is appropriate, and there could be times. But I say this is a general basis. Maybe in a majority of times, it may be good to have something on the lower side, maybe under 100 proof, a 90 proof in that range, somewhere, 94 proof. And I can see, and if you think about it, you go to restaurants, I'd say, if you look at most restaurants, what's on their bourbon list, I think, again, except for we have maybe some specialty ones. In general, I think I'd say a majority of their bourbons and whiskeys are in the lower proof range, not necessarily 80, but, they have 80 proof, 90 proof, pours, 90s in that range. You generally see a lot more of that range in proof than you do, 120 or something like that. It also would be probably more pricey too, but you see both, but I just kind of noticed that. So that's for me. I've been noticing, not even thinking about it, that I love my higher proof pours for neat pours, but I've tended to have, if I'm out to a restaurant and bring your own, bring something on the lower proof side. You say, 90 proof, 90s in that range. So that's just me. I was just curious. I'd be curious, what type of proof level do you tend to gravitate to if you're out to a restaurant, having with a meal, bringing your own or something like that? That's just something I noticed, and I kind of wanted to share that as I sip on something that is north of that. Wild Turkey 8-year, 101, Wild Turkey 101, 8-year, which is 101 proof. Cheers. This is really good. Let me know in the comments. Take care.